All right, here we go. This is Coffee and Chat. Once again, I am Rev Bruce, and definitely come on in, enjoy the flavor. This is gonna be, man, this is crazy because I don't know where you are, but where I am, it's went from kind of drizzly to okay, maybe you can go outside to boom, straight up storm. So then, who knows what's going to turn out to be with the rest of the day. But I'm taking this in stride and moving along. Yeah, we had to make some adjustments, guess, with a technical difficulty. But here I am. I got something for you, and glad you could tune in today. I want to talk about, how to initiate and ignite change in your life, how to initiate and ignite change in your life. If you get a chance to, definitely hit that like button. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you got going on. I am here live and I'm going to continue to do it. Difficulties or not, no problem. We're going to make it happen. And so while we're doing this, man, I want to, just let you know, despite the confusion that might be going on with the election and all this other stuff, it sounds like Biden may have been elected, but you still got time to contest it and all that other good stuff, and still got a couple of months of somebody else in the office. So let's see what happens. Let's be faithful. Let's be true to it, and just keep going on with how we will finish out 2020. I don't know how the rest of it will finish out 2020, but we're gonna do what we got to do. All right, and so trust and believe. This is one more time where we can definitely say that God is handling it. You know, moving on. Take this into account. Our top videos on Coffee and Chat on the playlist. Look here, top videos on the playlist. Look at this right here. Number one is Aldo Chavez, right? And his video where we were talking about community and some of the things that he's doing with Athlete. And so Aldo is in the lead, right? And he's hitting, 196 views. Definitely go back and check out that link. And that interview, that was a pretty extensive interview, over an hour, where we were just chopping it up about community, education, this whole pandemic. And Aldo is, right there at number one. And number two took place in June, and that was with Dr. V. And Dr. V, when he came on and we did a midweek session on Si Se Puede and what that means. And Dr. V actually shared something that was interesting. He actually shared not just some memorabilia from his dad with United Farm Workers, but he also shared some interesting things about his dad running around and working with Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez for farm workers' rights, and just definitely a great interview. And he's just right behind Aldo with 185 views. So those are the top two that we got right now on our playlist. Definitely check them out. Like I said, um, Aldo Chavez, you know, check out his video. That was an extensive interview. Like I said, it was something to be uh, viewed for sure, right? And for sure, check out Dr. V, the whole thing with Si Se Puede, something we started doing, um, looking at Latinos in Action, another group that we both were working and supporting. So definitely check those two out. All right. And so that's what we got right now for the playlist. But today we've got some other stuff coming up. And as I get into what we got going on today, I really want to lead into what I've got going on later on this month through ministry. And so here we go. Take it like this, right? Here we David Thoreau said, I am grateful for what I am and have. My thanksgiving is perpetual. He put it out there that said, by saying that his thanksgiving is perpetual. He said that his thanksgiving is something that continues and goes on and it's not limited. So think about your perpetual thanksgiving and how that works out. And boom, I've got this coming up. This is definitely something that I want y'all to check out. Y'all have heard me say mobile ministry, evangelism, outreach. That's where my heart is. That's where my calling is. And so giving thanks by giving back is a week of works where we seek to make a difference and make an impact. And this is something that I'm doing through Life Path Mobile Ministries. It's with the Holiday Outreach Service Team and the Save to Serve Network divisions of that ministry, and Faith Impact Training, something that some of you have seen from me before. And those include tips and different elements on how to get things done. Definitely check out my blog tomorrow's blog post. That'll be right there on Rev Bruce. It will contain more detailed information on how we're going to go about this, how we're going to launch this, the calendar of events for that full week. And so definitely spend a moment, spend some time on the blog, right? And check out the blog posts. Check out the blog post right there that will tell you more information about what we're doing with giving thanks by giving back. We want to make an impact. We want to make an impact on somebody's life, and that's what we want to do. All right. And so there it is right there. Check it out in the chat. Boom. We've got more stuff to do. And so I want to talk about this and let you have the rest of your day, and then I'm done. So I'm going to talk about how to initiate and ignite change in your life. Remember, this is the last part of 2020. We are wrapping this thing up. And so we're within those last 60 days, and we're trying to make the most of it. Okay. And so how to initiate and ignite change in your life? Well, three things we want to do. We want to outline objectives. We want to optimize opportunities, and we want to overcome obstacles. Just three things: outline objectives, optimize opportunities, and overcome obstacles. They sound super simple, but a lot of people take one or more of these for granted, like they're ready and set to go, and then stuff blows up in their face. So I want to make sure, as I talk about this, that you get this when I say it. When we talk about outlining what your objectives are, when we talk about knowing what your purpose is, or following your calling, when we talk about that, making a plan is essential. And so if you don't have a plan for finishing up 2020, definitely stay tuned with this and go back and watch the last couple of videos I've done, and you'll see that the last couple of live chats that I've done here on Coffee and Chat have really been about finishing up 2020. And so we want to look at this and say, hey, are you ready for opportunities when they come? And can you handle the obstacles when they come? Those are the two big things you got to worry about right now. Okay. And so when we move along, they're just something that you need to know, right? And let's take into account, right? Outlining objectives. That sounds simple, right? That you would, outline your objectives, but some people don't do that. Some people don't look at objectives. They don't look at what they're trying to get done. They just simply, want to get started. And so you need to know your purpose, and you need to know your why, right? The go back to the book, start with why, right? Work from there. There's another concept of understanding by design where you go from your vision, right? And you work backwards from your vision and you begin to work backwards and plug in what would get you to that ultimate vision. And then you work backwards and create a starting point with objectives from there. But ultimately, your vision is going to give you an objective. And your purpose is going to put it in play. And when you know why, then you can outline those objectives, you can set deadlines, and you can give it some details, right? You can also cut down the confusion by operating with some clarity. Your vision should be a clear picture of what you see as the ultimate future for your organization, for your project, for your professional career change, whatever it might be. You want to make sure that you cut down the confusion by operating with a clear vision and having that plan outlined, not just with objectives, but deadlines and details. Someone once said, the devil is in the details, and that is so true. Get that done before you end up tripping over yourself and having difficulty with that. And so we want to have a plan. We want to have a plan that gets us started, that gets us going, but also keeps us moving with some momentum. All right. And so if we're doing that consciously, we're doing that and recognizing that that plan needs to be revisited, that plan needs to be reviewed, and sometimes that plan needs to be revised or even revitalized. Okay. And so think about it. You want to make sure that you're operating on that level. And then secondly, you want to optimize, right? Optimize opportunities. When we talk about that, opportunities are one or two things. They're either coming your way or they're created, right? And they're either coming your way or they're created. If they're coming your way, that means you're in the right place at the right time with the right people, and everything's just falling into place. Or you're putting your foot in the door. You're knocking on doors. You're ringing folks up on the phone. You're jumping into people's inboxes, and you're creating opportunities by creating more visibility, being more vocal, basically taking it out there to people so that people can know that you exist and know what you have to offer. And basically, it's being that squeaky wheel, and getting greased. And so in that, you can create opportunities or you can just happen upon them. And creating opportunities is cool, but guess what? Either way it works out, whether you happen upon them or you create them, you still need to do these three things. You need to have recognition. You need to remain discerning of and alert to opportunities, as they come, as they're created, as they, are provided to you. And then you need to have readiness. Get and stay prepared for when opportunities come your way, right? And so you might be knocking on doors and finally someone says, hey, man, wait a minute. I've heard from you before. I'm willing to sit down and listen to what you got to say and what you have to offer. Let's do lunch next Tuesday. And boom, you got it right there. And so that's part of it. You got to be ready so that you can jump on that and stop playing, right? Game plan is delaying. You know what I mean? I've got a friend that works in the film industry, and one of the things, he was working in a particular, position, and another person said, hey man, you need to jump over here and get in this lane and stop playing, because you're missing out on not only money, but opportunities for benefits, opportunities to expand your career and get, more security in this industry. You're playing right now. And so he listened to that and he took advantage of that. And so God bless him for that, and the person that shared it with him. But you got to be ready. And then you need to be responsive. You need responsiveness. You need to be able to respond, go for it, jump on it, take the leap, and just do it. I had somebody share share that with me that hey, look, your problem is you're not taking the leap. Your problem is, you're thinking, you're analyzing, and you're not taking the leap. And so taking the leap is, it's adventurous, it's risky, but guess what? Jump on out there and do that. Jump on out there and do that and make it happen. Make it happen. Make it happen for yourself. There you go. My man, Dr. V, sharing right there, talking about it right there, that readiness, right? And the thing that was amazing when I went through some YouTube training with Sean Cannell and Think Media, one of the things that he said before, it really got started was you've got to punch fear in the face, right? You've got to knock that thing out. You've got to punch fear in the face and make it happen because, it's the thing that gets in your way, right? It's the thing that can stay right there and cause you not to move. You can be petrified and not do anything. And listen, you've got to punch fear in the face and keep on moving and make this thing happen. Hey, this is not, just some hunky-dory stuff. This is just reality that when we get there, are we ready? When we get in position, are we ready? Are we ready to move? And so the next big thing is, boom, you've got to overcome the obstacles, right? You've got to overcome obstacles. Obstacles are those things that are going to pop up, those things that are going to come up. They're going to be there. And are you ready for them? Are you ready for when the trouble gets in your face? Are you ready for when the fear creeps in? Are you ready for when the doubt starts to settle in? Are you ready for when you start to wrestle with your own insecurities, when you start to battle between perfection and procrastination? Are you ready for the countless things that are going to come up and be in your face? And these obstacles will be there. And what are you going to do? Are you going to overcome them to achieve your objectives? What are you going to do? You need to settle in, right? And take a moment, take a deep breath, whatever it is, but know that they're going to come and have a plan prepared for how you're going to handle them, right? And if you're like most of us, right, you know what your issues are, right? You don't need someone to analyze it for you. You know what your issues are, and let's be real. If you haven't dealt with them as you go to move forward and make changes, you're going to have to deal with them. And so pick it out now. Pick out and set up a plan now in order to deal with those obstacles that you're going to have to face. Those are what someone else would call inevitable. It's going to happen. It's bound to happen. And when you face it, how are you going to deal with it? Let me give you some examples of how somebody dealt with it. Nehemiah was a man in the Bible who was a cupbearer for the king. And Nehemiah heard about the walls around the temple and was disheartened by what was going on. And so when he went back with the king's graces and letters of support to rebuild the wall, he found opposition in the person of Sanballat and his crew when he was rebuilding the wall, and they did not support him. And they were living in the community that Nehemiah was trying to rebuild and uplift, and they still didn't support him. And his response was this: "But I answered them, the God of heaven will give us success." It doesn't matter if the people around you are not supporting it. What faith do you have in the success of your project, your venture, your business, your startup, whatever it might be? What faith do you have in it? Because lack of support is nothing new. Jesus went through it. Let's be real. The Lord himself went through it. The Lord's own brothers didn't believe in him, and they sure didn't support his ministry. He continued with his mission, though, and despite them and their lack of support, he took it, and he took it all the way to the cross and the grave. And it says that in John 7:5, it says, "For even his brothers did not believe in him." So it's nothing new. It's nothing new. What needs to change and be new for you is how you're going to deal with it. How you deal with it should be something new. How you deal with it should be something different, and how you deal with it should lead to you having change in your life. There are fewer than 60 days left in 2020. And how are you going to manage that? How are you going to make that happen without a plan? Because days will come, days will go. Days will come, days will go. And you will miss out and miss plenty of opportunities. And you will not see what God has for you if you keep on playing. Stop game playing. Like the man told my friend, stop game playing and delaying. Get this and make it happen. And this is to be true and to be understood that this is how you need to live this thing out, right? Live without regrets, right? If you want to see a change, you won't see any change until you make some changes. Change your life, change your habits, add some skills, drop some bad habits, eliminate some folks that ain't supporting you, or just keep them at a distance, add some new friends, find some new friends that will support you. I've said it before, expand your circle, make that thing wider, get that thing growing to where you feel that circle of support around you and it's swelling, but live without regrets. And this is not the place for any woulda, shoulda, coulda, victimhood. We don't need that. We don't need the victimhood. We don't need that. Oh, well, I grew up poor. Oh, well, if my daddy had been around, oh man, if I just hadn't been handicapped, I would have been able to get so much more done. Listen, live without any regrets. Ever heard of Helen Keller? Come on, work with me. Ever heard of Stevie Wonder? Ever heard of Ray Charles? Right? Being blind doesn't mean you have to live with no vision, right? And so let's do this. Live without any regrets. No woulda, no shoulda, and no coulda victimhood. We're not going for that. We're not living with that. This is how you will change. You will change your remainder of 2020. If you don't change it, nothing's going to change. If you don't change your outlook, nothing's going to change. If you don't change your perspective, nothing's going to change. This is how you're going to change your 2020, right? Outline those objectives. Get down to the details. Find out, what deadlines you need to make. Outline your objectives and set up a plan. Optimize your opportunities, right? Listen, this is just simple, man, right? You've got to have recognition, you've got to have readiness, and you've got to have responsiveness. Get it together, right? Optimize your opportunities. Overcome your obstacles. They are going to come, but will you overcome them? All right? They are going to come, but will you overcome them? They can come from closer than you expect, right? Listen, I just told you and gave you the example of Nehemiah and Jesus own brothers. But even among the ones that he picked, Jesus said at one point, did not choose all of you, and one of you is still a devil? Come on. It's that way. Obstacles are going to come. Opposition is going to be there. How you handle it is what you need to change. How you prepare for it is what you need to change, and how you let it manifest in your life as something that was meant for bad or harm that you used for good, and it altered and it changed, and at best it might change your perspective, even if it doesn't change your predicament. Listen, man, I had a business that failed, that flopped, right? And it taught me something about, listen, man, you can't depend on the people that you hang around to keep you in business. You can't depend on the people that say, oh man, I got your back. We homies for life and all that to keep you in business. You've got to go out there and create customers. You've got to go out there and build a roster of people that will support you. But if you're just trying to hang out and you think that everybody that's hanging around you that wants a discount for their mama, for their auntie, and their uncle too, you're not going to succeed. And I flopped. And I can admit that and realize that, you know what? That's cool. They're still my people, but I need to go beyond them if I'm going to stay in business the next time I go to do something. And that's the way to look at it. They're great to help you, support you, and get you started, But listen, you've got to go beyond just your circle of friends. You've got to go just beyond the church roster. You've got to go just beyond all that stuff that's happening and going on with your people. You've got to go beyond just your neighborhood and your community. You've got to go beyond and get that if you want to get your goals done. Get there and get what you need. What you need is to make a change, and that change is dependent upon you. If you're going to be successful, that change is dependent upon you. Right? For my people of faith, if you need to pray, pray. Let it help you. Let it help it change your perspective. Get up and do something about it. Right? When you get done praying, get up and do something about it. For my Catholics, when you get done, rubbing on the rosary and the candle's been lit, hey, get up and get to doing something about it. Listen, even if you don't believe, get up and get to doing something about what you got going on. Listen, you can be a dreamer who turns their dream into a reality. You can, but you've got to do something about it, because if a dreamer never becomes a doer, your dreams could die. Your dreams could die like fruit on the vine, because right when it was ripe, you weren't ready. Hey, I'm through with you. This is what we got going on today. I got a roster of guests. I'm going to work on these glitches that are happening with this technology. We're going to get this thing done. We're going to make it happen. We're going to be back. It's not going to be something that's going to limit us from having something on here to inspire you, to get you going, and most of all, to keep you ignited. Hey, this is what I want you to remember. If you don't remember anything else, you need to be grateful today. Understand today that your gratefulness, right? Your gratefulness is tied to what you've already received and how you love and respect the source of where you received it, right? You need to understand that. You need to recognize that and definitely keep that in mind. This has been Coffee and Chat with Rev Bruce. I want to thank y'all, bless y'all, love y'all, peace.